Hi everyone! I've mentioned a few times how much I love TikTok. I have a lot of fun over there. I love watching live streams and I find myself being very entertained on that app. I was thinking the other day, I was scrolling through and I thought, what if I search up art challenges on TikTok and see what comes up? So that's exactly what I did. I saved a few and I thought that we could watch them together and then I will try and complete the challenges myself. Now, the first one I saved is this. All right, cool. I think this one will be fun, picking like one subject and then doing it in 6 different ways. So let's go. I'm so close to finishing my sketchbook. So I'm going to do these challenges in my sketchbook and try and fill it up. And I sketched 6 boxes, one for each prompt. All right, so I've got my boxes with what I need to do. So I've got 10 minutes, opposite hand, closed eyes. I'm actually just going to do blind contour drawing for that one. 1 minute, 10 seconds, and infinity time. Along with David Lynch, I absolutely love John Waters. So today I've chosen this stunning picture of Tracy Lords, who plays Wanda in Crybaby. Our first one is 10 minutes, so let's put a timer on the clock. 10 minutes. First up, I just want to apologize for any audio issues in this video. I was having some struggles. But Crybaby is a film written and directed by one of my all-time faves, John Waters. He has made some of the most iconic cult cinema of all time. And I definitely need to make more videos about him because he has inspired me so much. I discovered his films around the same time as I did David Lynch, and these two filmmakers have both had a huge influence on me, my art, and how I approach creativity. So this is what we made in 10 minutes. I feel like 10 minutes is a good one to start with because you get enough time to really capture the portrait, but you don't get stuck in all the details too much. All right, so next we've got opposite hand. So this will be interesting because these 3 fingers are numb. This one's not timed. Crybaby was released in 1990 and was Waters' first proper Hollywood movie, starring Johnny Depp alongside a cast of Waters' regular misfits and character actors. A love story about the good girl who falls from the bad boy from the wrong side of the tracks. This is immensely rewatchable and such a fun time. I'm finding it hard to control the pressure. Yeah, it's really strange. So I've got these really wonky lines. It's like I know where everything needs to go, but my hand is not wanting to do it. Like her mouth is just a blob. All right, see if we can get this eyeliner. I mean, you can see it's the same person, right? I don't think that's too bad. Just a little bit misshapen around the jaw. All right, closed eyes. Now, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to do a blind contour drawing. which is where I just look at the reference picture and you draw a continuous drawing, not looking at the page, but looking at the reference. All right, blind contour, let's go. While we're here, I just want to say a massive thank you to my Ko-fi supporters. I adore you all so much. I make 2 zines every month that I send out as a zine membership to people all over the world now, and I'm super grateful for all the support that I get over there. Blind contour wonder. I mean, the eyeliner is in the right spot. So interesting. All right, next up is 1 minute. So let's put the timer on again. 1 minute. Oh, that was hard. That was hard. It took me a lot longer to get going than I anticipated, so I have no idea what 10 seconds will look like. But I figured the most important parts of her portrait and the eyes, the eyeliner, her big hair, and the lips. 10 seconds. Geez, let's see. This one's going to be hard. All right, 10 seconds. Oh, okay, I didn't get much down in 10 seconds. 10 seconds is not a lot of time, y'all. And I might actually do this in full colour since we've got all the time in the world. So I'm going to sketch in the graphite and then we'll do a proper like full colour portrait here because we have all the time. Crybaby is an over-the-top rockabilly biker and pin-up musical. So over the top and campy in the best way, which is exactly John Waters' brand. He managed to squeeze his particular vulgarity into a teen dream pop juvenile delinquent melodrama, and I feel it's super successful. Full of outrageous dialogue, it's like Grease on illicit substances. And like I said, such a fun time. So with this last portrait here, I just sketched in graphite and then used coloured pencil to finish off. I didn't spend a lot of time on this one, considering the first sketch was 10 minutes. Maybe this was about probably 15, I think. But yeah, I adore this movie. I love cult cinema. Yeah, highly inspired by especially the women characters in the John Waters movies. They're all just so iconic and I kind of want to draw all of them. So those videos are probably not too far away. As I mentioned, Wanda here was played by Tracy Lords, who was a pretty controversial adult film actress, and Crybaby was her first proper, like, legit Hollywood movie. So here we have our 10 minutes, opposite hand, closed eye, 1 minute, 10 seconds, and infinite time wonder. Now the second one I found, Evie. Okay, let's watch the second one. Now, obviously, a big part of this one is the way that the video is edited. We're not going to do that. I'm just going to do the 3 sets of eyes in my sketchbook. So let's go. So with this one, I decided to sketch 3 rectangle boxes onto my sketchbook page using graphite. And I took 3 different photos of my eyes looking in different directions, which I then cropped to use as reference. And I sketched in my graphite pencil again and used my trusty kneadable eraser. And then I decided to use my Artex acrylic paint markers to colour, as I'm just so obsessed with the opacity and bright colours in this set. And I kept the colours the same for the 3 drawings, only changing the colour of the border. I really love how you can get these bright block colours. It's a very graphic style when I use these paint markers, and I really, really love the way they turn out. And I thought because we were doing these sort of graphic, simple close-up eye studies, this would be the perfect medium to do that with. So after I blocked in most of the colour of the eye and the surrounding areas, I just did a border in a colour, and I used a different colour for each piece. And then I just went in to finish off with coloured pencils and some black fine liner. The black fine liner I used just to do like the lashes and add the extra details. And then I finished off the pieces by using the silver Artex acrylic paint marker. The silver and the gold are so stunning. I absolutely love using them, and I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of them because I use them all the time. But I absolutely love the way this page turned out. All right, let's do the third one. Yes, there's a cat.
Alright, let's make a cat based off yourself. The fur length is going to be dependent on your hair length. So if you have long hair, you're going to have a fluffy cat. If you have medium to short hair, you're going to have a short hair cat. If you have really short hair or no hair, you're going to have a hairless cat. Now if you don't have any freckles or birthmarks, you're going to have a solid color cat. If you have freckles, add spots, and birthmarks, add stripes. Now if you can swim, you're going to have a long tail. But if you can't swim or if you have a fear of water, short tail. Now if you don't have any pets or you have pets other than dogs or cats, give your cat a collar. If you have any dogs, give them a sweater, and if you have cats, give them a hat. And lastly, your eye colors are based off your favorite fruits. Let's see that kitty.
All right, this one's going to be fun. So we're going to make like an OC cat based on these things about myself. So let's do that. This one's going to be a fun one, I think. Okay, so the first thing I did was write down the answers to all the prompts, so I knew exactly what I was going to create for this little kitty. So we have hair length long equals fluffy. I have freckles and birthmarks, so my cat will have stripes. I can swim, so my cat's going to have a long tail. I have cats, so we're going to add a hat. And my favorite fruits are mango, watermelon, and passion fruit. So we're going to use those colors for the eyes. So I started sketching my fluffy, long-tailed cat, and I wanted to add a cowboy hat, but then I realized I had placed the drawing too close to the top of the page and I didn't want to draw it again. So when I was drawing the hat, it totally reminded me of Lemmy from Motorhead. So I just ran with that idea. outlined in a sort of like a thicker black fine liner, and then I painted in stripes using my Derwent Graphite watercolor set. I hadn't picked these watercolors up in ages, and I believe I got these in a scroller box in the past, but I love the way that they just have these beautiful muted tones, variations on greys, and they're just so lovely to work with. And these are really interesting because they're not sort of technically paint, I don't think. I think if I've gotten this right, I think they're a blend of like charcoal and graphite with pigment. So they feel texturally different as well. They're so interesting to use, but I love the muted color palette, and I just felt like it was perfect for this kitty cat. And I finished up using the acrylic paint markers again to add the eye color because I knew they'd really pop against the soft muted tones of the rest of the piece. And these were the colors of my favorite fruits, so mango, watermelon, and passion fruit. And I think this was the right decision. I love how it really stands out against the rest of the piece, those muted colors. So I just grabbed my fine liner again and cleaned up the eyes, add a couple of little white highlights, and the final touch was adding in the whiskers with a fine liner. Well, finer than the one I'd done the line work with. So then the final touch was adding in some decorative spades in the background with a pencil to represent the ace of spades. So it was a full tribute to the legendary Lemmy. All right, let's do one more.
New Art Challenge. Go to your playlist and pick your favorite song. Screenshot and crop the album cover. Use the album cover to create a color palette. Swipey swipey. Draw something inspired by the song. And use the palette to color it. All done.
Yeah, like I said, I really like this one. I am a big music lover and take a lot of inspiration from music as it is. I'm not working digitally today, so we're going to do this in my sketchbook like the others. So let's go. I thought I might do this in a slightly different way because I have all these records here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut my eyes and I'm just going to pick one at random and use that as my inspiration. All right, let's do it. What do we got? Oh, Oathbreaker. All right, cool. Let's see what inspo we can get from this artwork. So we've got quite a muted color palette. Sorry for the close-up of the toes if you're not into feet, but we do have some really amazing bright red tones on this back cover. So I'm going to pop the record on and I'm going to get some inspiration to make some artwork from one of the songs using the color palette of this incredible album. Oathbreaker are a Belgian metal band whose mix of blackened post-metal just hits the spot for me every time I listen to them. Vocalist Caro will effortlessly switch from the most angelic sound to aggressive growls with ease and brings such emotion to lyrics and is themes on this album, particularly of death and complex relationships. I decided to use the same palette of charcoal graphite paints that I'd used for the cat because I really felt like these were the perfect tones to fit with the muted tones on the album cover, because there is like this bluey grey, and then I grabbed just a brighter pink that I had and mixed it in with these. So you can see the swatches down the side there. This is sort of how I kind of matched the color palette to the album art, not like exactly as you would if you did it digitally, but I feel like I sort of captured the vibe. The album cover artwork is actually Caro and her partner and bandmate's hands woven together, covered in melted candle wax and then submerged into water. And it's such striking imagery as a close-up photograph. It's perfect for album art, in my opinion. And I chose the lyric, "When I reach for the knife placed on the bedside table, its blade reflects my determined face." This just really stood out to me. And this is from the song Being Able to Feel Nothing. And so this was definitely my inspiration. Oathbreaker were my white whale while I was traveling as a live music photographer. The festivals they were scheduled at that I was also booked to cover, they never ended up playing, and I was never able to see them live. They stopped playing in 2017. So this record, Rhea, the title of which references Mother Goddess Rhea in Greek mythology, this was released in 2016, and this would be their last record. So while I don't particularly love this painting, and it's not really an original idea, I loved this challenge, and I think I'll definitely try this one again. And it was just so great to revisit an old favorite record that I hadn't played in a while. And here is the final piece. So you can sort of see how I've kind of matched the color palette. I don't know, I feel like I could have done better, but it was a very long day in the end doing all these challenges, but lots of fun. Thank you so much for watching. This was a really fun way to fill a couple of spreads in my sketchbook, and I'm almost finished it, so we'll be doing a full tour soon. The eyes are my favorite. It's really fun to take part in these online challenges because it helps you connect with other artists and gives you some fresh ideas, and they're lots of fun. So like this video if you liked this video, consider subscribing to the channel for more art stuff, and follow me over on TikTok that is linked down below in the description box, and I'll see you next time. Bye.